What is up, you guys? It is your boy Jad here from Puma, Plow. Welcome back to another FELSBRUNN episode here, of course, on the PC. Do appreciate you guys clicking on the video. How's it going? And welcome in. Like I said in the last video, guys, rolling it right into the next video here. It's just kind of a thing during harvest. You can just kind of roll from video to video to video to video for you guys. Just saying. So I was talking at the end of the last video about fireworks and the party we used to throw at the farm. And I know I've talked about this before, but yeah, there's always new people, right? Maybe, hopefully, that's the hope anyway, right? There's new people watching. That's the hope. But yeah, we used to throw this giant 4th of July party at the farm. Probably, we had a couple incidents down there as well. One was completely unrelated to fireworks at all, but it resulted with an emergency trip to the hospital at a high rate of speed. Very high rate of speed. Once upon a time in my life, guys, and this is going down a road. We're not going to go too far down this road, but we're going to go down this road a little bit. Once upon a time in my life, guys, I had a long-distance relationship with a girl. Met her on Xbox, actually, playing Halo 2. It was a whole thing. And we became quite close, and we were a thing, I guess. I don't know, man. Labels scare me now. Okay, we were a thing, and she actually came out here over summer. It was 4th of July at time, and she was at the farm during our party. And my brother had ordered in Maryland blue crab, because my brother's wife is from Maryland, and my ex-girlfriend was from Maryland. And so she was all about having blue crab. Hey, I'm in the Midwest, but I'm eating blue crab kind of thing. And she had some blue crab, and all of a sudden she, like, couldn't breathe, and she was in anaphylactic shock, I believe they call that. So we tried some, we had some Claritin at the farm somebody had, but that didn't work. We didn't have any Benadryl at the time at the farm. I believe there is Benadryl down there now, but we didn't have any at the time. So I was actually on the phone. Well, basically what we did is we got in the minivan and drove in and out the lane a couple times, because we're like, oh, it's just hot. She's not reacting well to the heat, because she wasn't really used to the St. Louis Midwest heat, you know, in the summertime, the humidity and stuff. So I was like, okay, let's jump in the van, drive you in and out the lane a few times, you know, get some cool air going. But I was on the phone with her mom at the time, actually, too. And I was like, okay, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And her mom goes, well, she needs to go to the hospital. And I was like, okay, so let's take her to the hospital. So I actually had to go back to the farm and, like, get some other people to go with us, because it was a whole thing. And I think I was driving a minivan in the lane at our farm at over 100 miles an hour, which is not recommended on a crappy gravel road. But I was coming back in the lane, and when her mom said hospital, let me in the combine. Can I not? There we go. When her mom said hospital on the phone, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And I floored it. I floored it in that minivan. And I came flying back into the farm. And everybody pretty well knows that our lane has a sharp corner in it. And when I hit that sharp corner, I was going way too fast. I was sliding with the minivan on the gravel. All four wheels locked up. I mean, the van had anti-lock brakes, but still, like, all four wheels locked up. We almost went sliding into a cornfield, and somehow I saved it. I'm really not sure how, but somehow I saved it, and we ended up getting my mom and my mom's friend that were both there, and we drove her to the hospital at a high rate of speed. It was very, very fast. We could have called an ambulance, but by the time the ambulance would get out to the farm, yeah. And plus, that's a lot of expense to, you know, it was an emergency, but it wasn't like an ambulance type emergency. There wasn't blood shooting from somebody's arm or something, you know. She was in anaphylactic shock, and she needed, you know, whatever, like a high dose Benadryl type thing or whatever. I think they gave her Benadryl through an IV, actually, to, like, get her to calm down and get over it, kind of thing. So it was kind of a whole thing. We spent 4th of July night in the hospital. I was actually on the phone with her mom. I stepped out of the hospital for a minute. I was on the phone with her mom as the town fireworks were going off, which are a few blocks away from our hospital. Don't mind these tracks, by the way. Don't mind these tracks. I was driving the log truck through here and ended up in the field. But I was on the phone with her mom as the city fireworks are going off. And she's like, "What is that noise?" And I'm like, "It's fireworks. Don't worry about it. She's fine. Calm down." But yeah, very capable hands at our hospital, of course. And they took good care of her and stuff. But it was kind of a whole thing. So that was one incident that we had at the farm. And I believe, in fact, I know this is when it happened. When we left for the hospital, everybody else kind of just, kept going with the 4th of July party. I don't think they used all the fireworks, but they did use quite a few of them and, had a show because my grandma was still alive then. Like, this is a while ago. This is like skeletons in John's closet past kind of thing right here that I'm talking about. And, oh, God. So they continue to have the party. Well, they had a firework tip over and actually shot fireworks into our big shed. And apparently one of them landed very near a gas can. And so then we had to take extreme safety precautions after that. Like, really, okay, let's move the fireworks farther away from buildings and people. Let's use concrete blocks to block the fireworks so they cannot fall over, kind of thing. We started taking it a little more serious after that year. A, we had the anaphylactic shock, and B, we had the fireworks launching into the shed, which is just not a good idea at all. I don't care who you are, that's not a good idea. So, bit of a problem there, Just a bit of a problem. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there. I would have gone off on somebody for shooting fireworks into the shed. I know it was an accident, but still. So after that year, we started taking more safety precautions as far as blocking the fireworks so they can't fall over. The mortar tubes, I would actually screw those down to a piece of wood. And then I would put concrete blocks on the piece of wood so it couldn't tip over even if it really wanted to. It was the whole thing. But I was talking in the last video about, quote, illegal activity. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. The other incident that we had, I was just, reminded of that. The other incident that we had was my nephew one time, the one that lives down in Florida now. He was watching the fireworks, as you do. And a piece of the remnant from the firework actually came down and hit him in the eye, which is a scary thing, when firework hits you in the eye. It was still warm at that point when it hit him, but it wasn't like red hot, wasn't like on fire still per se, but it was still warm. Whatever actually hit him, I'm not totally sure. I know that he hit the ground and started screaming and crying. My sister-in-law was there, not his mom, but another sister-in-law who is a nurse. And immediately she recommended, and actually my brother-in-law's mom was there too. And she used to be an EMT and a nurse and all this stuff. And immediately they're like, no, get him to a hospital. Immediately we poured water in his eye. It didn't help. Immediately get him to a hospital. So they took him to the hospital. And he ended up missing the rest of the 4th of July. Of course, we did continue to have the party without them. We're kind of ruthless like that. It's like, oh, you had to go to the hospital. Sorry. Sucks to be you. We're still having the party kind of thing. So we did still have the party. Then after that year, we did take more safety precautions. Any of the children, us adults, didn't really heed it too much. I kind of did because I always wear my safety glasses, my safety suns, during the day, of course. But after that, all of the children were required to wear clear or, safety sun glasses at all times when there were fireworks being set off, because we did not want to have to rush another child to the hospital for something in their eye. So we definitely started taking some more safety precautions. And then with the wheat, we just, you can't take precautions against 100 acres of wheat catching on fire. You just cannot do that. Yes, we could move where we launched the fireworks, but all it takes is one rogue firework, and boom, there goes 100 acres. So we just said, you know what, that plus financially, it just wasn't a smart idea to have that party anymore. I used to walk in the fireworks tent and drop $500-600 real fast, real easy, which is not a good habit to have. You know, I could think of much better things to spend $500 or $600 on now than fireworks. You know, literally your money goes up in smoke. Like, it just goes. The other thing was the quote illegal activity that I was teasing in the last video. In my county, now let me be a little more broad than that. In some places in Missouri, where we buy fireworks, at least at the time, I don't even know if it still is, but you could not buy anything that would go up and come back down. So things like bottle rockets were illegal. And I don't know if they still are. They probably are. This county's pretty strict about the stuff. Bottle rockets, big rockets, the Saturn missiles, you know, the little, like, whole bunch of those little plastic ones that just kind of go and shoot and whistle and stuff, which is like my favorite firework, by the way. I don't know why. It's kind of a cheesy, lame one, but I love it. So when you walk into a fireworks stand many years in a row and you drop $5, $6, $7, sometimes more, $100, you get to know the guy, like, that owns the place. So I would walk in and he would hand me a piece of paper that had all the stuff they couldn't sell. But he's like, hey, if you want any of this, let me know. Here's the piece of paper. It had what it cost. It was ready to go. Sorry, midday yawns. So it was like a whole thing. And he's just like, yeah, you're good. You're not going to narc. You're good. I was like, all right, cool, man. Let me go narc you to the police now. No, we became, I wouldn't say friends, but, you know, you definitely get to know the guy kind of, and, you know, vice versa. And it was always funny, though. I'd walk in and he'd hand me the list. Like, don't show this to anybody, but if you need any of this, just let me know. And then you would tell him at checkout, or tell any of them. They all were in on it. Everybody working there was in on it. You would tell them, like, hey, I want this right here. You know, I'll take 3 Saturn missile, you know, 200 shots, whatever. And they would just go get it out of a truck, and they would meet you at your car. And they would put it in your car, and you'd drive away. It was kind of funny. I believe the last year that we actually did fireworks, there were a couple of us. Don't get me wrong, there were a couple of us. But we walked in that fireworks stand, and we dropped, I believe it was around $1,100 in cash on them. Like, yeah, we dropped stacks. Like, we had like 2 shopping carts full. But that was basically our whole show that year. Like, we didn't go anywhere else and buy anything. We have one fireworks stand in town that we really like. They're good people. Like I said, they would sell me the good goods. And for some reason, I guess I'm recognizable with the beard and stuff, because I had a beard back then. Kind of a recognizable guy. But they would as soon as I'd walk in, they kind of knew who I was. They knew where we shot our fireworks, and that we were, you know, kind of alone, because we'd shoot them at the farm. We're out in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. And they would give us the good goods. It was always really funny, though. Everybody else in my family could actually go there, like, without me, and not get recognized at all. As soon as I stepped foot in that fireworks stand, I would get recognized. They're like, hey, how's it going, man? Welcome back. They never knew my name. Never exchanged names, because I always paid in cash. I was cutting a lot of grass back then. Had cash on hand, you know. Gotta love that cash for the merchandise or something like that. My aunt says that all the time. I don't know. But, yeah, had that cash, and, you know, we had a lot of fun with fireworks over the years. I'm not going to lie. The show You know, at first it was like, oh, sorry, midday yawn again. At first, when we started the 4th of July thing, it was like, hey, we'll, you know, have a barbecue and just kind of hang out. Hey, we'll shoot a few fireworks off throughout the day. Nothing like serious, nothing, you know, too extravagant. Like, hey, go to the fireworks tent, maybe spend, you know, $10-15. Nothing crazy. And then it just kind of kept snowballing. It's kind of like my Christmas display. You know, my Christmas lights that I do. 15,000 of them this year. Next year, hopefully around 20. It's just, it kind of snowballs, honestly. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'd set more money aside. And a couple of my brothers would set some more money aside. And my dad would set more money aside. And next thing you know, it's like we're spending $2,000 as a family just on the fireworks. Not to mention, mom/dad paid for all the food and drinks and all that kind of stuff, you know. And it got expensive to have that party, but it was fun. We had a lot of fun on the 4th of July parties at the farm. Lots of fun. You know, never any alcohol involved, at least on our part. We were never... Nobody in my family anymore is a big drinker. It used to be one of my brothers was kind of a big drinker, but he has since completely stopped due to reasons. And, yeah, so nobody's really a big drinker. Occasionally some of the people that we would invite would drink, but we kind of encourage that not to happen because, hey, let's get drunk and play with fireworks. That seems like an insurance nightmare. Just saying. That seems like an insurance nightmare, so let's not do that. We had to be kind of smart because we do have insurance on the farm. We do carry a policy just in case something happens down there, you know, somebody gets injured, whatever. But, you know, we plan on never using it, of course, so we have to be smart and be safe about the way we do our dumb things down there sometimes, you know? Because sometimes we do dumb things. That's just the way it is, you know? But you have to be smart about being dumb. There's ways to do it to be smart. Just saying. Like a video I've always wanted to film. It's the dumbest idea ever. Okay, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm never going to film it. But I'm going to talk about it. I don't want any of you to try this. And if you do, be very smart about it. Please don't try this. Probably shouldn't even talk about it. With the current climate today on YouTube, I would not film this. Because it would get demonetized. And it would probably get blocked. Like, this video would probably get blocked. But basically what I want to do, because it involves explosions, it would get blocked. I would like to go out in the middle of a field in the winter. Right now would be perfect time. You know, it's cold. There's nothing in any fields around kind of thing. And I want to build a fire. Okay? Not a huge fire, but a nice sized fire. And in said fire, I would rig up, and I'm not going to get too much into it because I really don't want any of you guys to try this, but rig up a system to hold an aerosol can at a safe distance from the fire so I can set it on there and then run a string as a trigger, you know, and get back pretty far, pull the string, aerosol can goes into the fire. After a minute or two, aerosols and fire don't mix. Actually, they mix quite well. They look awesome, but please don't try it. We've done it before with spray paint cans, but basically the theory of the video would be to kind of ramp it up, you know, start with like a can of spray paint and then move to maybe like something more explosive or more flammable and end with something that would be very, very explosive and flammable. I'm not even going to say what it is. You guys can guess in the comments, but I'm not going to say it because, like I said, I do not want you guys to try this at home. It is dangerous. It is dumb. Do not do it. But, you know, yes, it's dangerous. It's dumb, but we were going to be very smart about it and be several hundred feet away. Cameras will be in the way. Like, I was thinking drone, you know, GoPro, regular camera, like anything I could throw at this. Try to get as many angles and and as many shots as possible on this. But it's not going to happen. I'm not going to make that video because all that time and energy and stuff, and I know for sure it's going to get demonetized on YouTube, which is okay. But it'll probably get blocked, if not removed from YouTube, with the current climate on YouTube. And it seems like my channel, like, they really pay attention. I'm not gonna lie. You know, back it's been over a year ago, but I was getting hit like every single video that I posted, even videos where it was me and I didn't cuss at all or do anything wrong or say anything wrong, would get demonetized and flagged by YouTube for not appropriate. So it just got to the point where it was like, okay, all right, cool, thanks YouTube. So it is what it is, but that's like the not so fun part of YouTube, when they just, like, you know, demonetize half of your videos and stuff. Actually, it went for about 2 months. It was every single video I posted. But anyway, so those are reasons we don't have the 4th of July party anymore. And then that video, I would love to make that video. I would love to make the explosive video, but it's probably never going to happen. I've had the idea for a couple of years, but it's probably not going to happen. It's probably already out there somewhere too. That's the other thing. Like, everything's been done. Everything has been done. And the last time we tried, like, blowing up stuff, it was an abysmal failure. That was that microwave we tried blowing up. We didn't really have explosives or anything. We were using fireworks. And it was more so just us goofing off, having fun than anything. And we definitely did goof off and have fun. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, it was more of just like having fun, goofing off a little bit. That kind of stuff more than anything else. So yeah. All right. What do you say we get a planter going? Planter. We're going to plant some oats. Planter. Let's get to work. Please don't let me sing anymore. John Stott. Hashtag John Stott. I know. I'm sorry. Planter. What a treat. Oh, wait. It's the wrong song. Wrong song. Come on, planter. This field over here really needs to get smoothed out. I'm looking forward to the day when we get a couple more fields in this map and we can actually start to turn this area in the map into what I want it to be someday. I have a rough idea. Rough idea. It should be pretty good, though. Lots of buildings and roads and turtles and stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Oh. It's always a good time. Alright, so we're going to run this for a minute here. Cultivator's making good progress. Of course, we did a bunch of it manually. Now we'll let him go until he stops, and then I'll have to kind of take over and do my thing. But that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So yes. Oh, goodness. Oh, the other thing with the 4th of July party, by the way, it's too hot here. It's too hot here. And then somehow, every single year, it never failed. I was all day long, we're shooting fireworks, we're playing with, different things. Everybody's up, active. By the time it comes to actually put on the, quote, show at the night, like in the evening, everybody else is done and they just go sit down. And it's like, guys, I could really use some help. So for the last, 4 years we did the fireworks show, I was pretty much the only one lighting and, hey, this one's going to go next, and then this one, and then this one, and, running back and forth, lighting them. And, of course, you run away from them after you light them. And I was, dead after those parties. I would come home and sleep for, a day and a half. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. But, I mean, it didn't kill me, I guess. It made me stronger, right? Cough, cough, cough or something. But, yeah, it kind of got to the point where I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So unless somebody's going to come help me, we're not going to have this party anymore. And nobody was like, well, I'll come help. Nobody. It's So I was like, all right, we're done. I'm not doing this anymore. And I was the biggest contributor as far as like financial wise for the fireworks as well. A lot of my other siblings were just like, not going to spend that much money. Which, I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. It's not good to spend that kind of money, you know? But it is what it is. Like I said, I was cutting grass back then. Had a lot of cash in my pocket all the time. So, cash, the problem with cash is easy come, easy go. Especially back then. You know, I go cut grass for a day, make a lot of money. Go cut grass for 2 days, make even more money. That kind of thing. So, it was kind of a thing. Kind of a thing. But yeah, back then we used to cut a lot of grass too. You know, I barely cut any now, of course. I've toned it back where I'm barely cutting anything. Basically, I cut enough grass, quote, professionally, whatever, commercially, to pay for the gas for my yard and my buddy Casey's yard, because I cut his yard for free because, you know, that's where I store my equipment in the summers now. Actually, my lawn, it's middle of the winter and my lawnmower's still over there. But, yeah, so I store my stuff over there. So I don't actually charge him for his yard. And, of course, I don't charge anybody for my yard. So I just cut basically one other thing, and it's to basically pay for the fuel for everything. It pays for the fuel, and it buys us lunch one day a week, my buddy Casey and I. Like, if we go cut on a Saturday, we'll pretty much always go get a lunch afterwards. And it pays for that lunch. So that's about it. Pays for lunch and that gas for the week. So, but that's okay. I don't know. I don't really like working in the heat anymore. It actually has worked out with everything going on with my mother for me not to be out doing that for hours and hours and hours. Because I need to be here with her. You know, this YouTube, Twitch thing is actually like the perfect job right now for me. Because I need to be here at my house so much because of her. It's like the perfect thing. Now, granted, if I were still cutting grass, I used to cut most of my grass on like Thursday to Friday-ish. I could still do the Fridays because she has dialysis. So I could still make it work, don't get me wrong. But it's nice to be close when she needs something, you know. I'm just at a push of a button, basically. Wireless doorbells are amazing. We actually have a system in the house with 3 ringers. So I actually have one in my bedroom, so if I'm sleeping, she can ring and get me. One in my dad's bedroom, and then one out here in the garage. So no matter where I'm at in the house, if I'm upstairs and, say, the bathroom, whatever, I can hear the one out of my dad's room, and vice versa. If I'm downstairs, I can hear the one in my room. If I'm out here in the garage, of course, I can hear this one. I could actually be, back when I was doing Christmas lights, I would turn the one up in the garage, turn the volume up, and I could actually be out in the front yard and hear it. And then go in and see what she needed. I mean, my aunt's always at the house too. So if mom really needs something, the aunt can always come and get me. Our aunt can take care of a bunch of stuff as well. So there's that. So guys, we're going to go ahead and call this video here in a second. The next time we come back, guys, maybe we'll be trying our little sneaky trick for making money. But we will probably be rolling into another harvest again. Maybe some selling too. I don't know what our price is actually. Price is going up. That's always a good sign. So that's okay for the barley there. So, yep, we're gonna cultivate, do all the steps, guys. Maybe I'll bring you in for some of that. I probably won't, but I don't know. We'll come back. We'll probably be back with a harvest. Maybe. We'll see. Tune in, and you guys will find out next video. Until then, I'm your boy John from Puma. Until then, I'm your boy John from Puma Plow. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, toodles.